Hey there, got a brand new camera trying out today. Thought I'd test it out on the four-wheeler before we go for a ride. Thought I'd give a quick review of the equipment we're working on here. It's a 650 with a big bore kit that I didn't touch any engine internals. How about that? So what we had going on is that the machine was due for a rebuild and parts were way too expensive, so we did some shopping and ended up going through a mixture of Babbitt's Online and Country Cat. Really good resources if you do any work yourself on ATVs, snowmobiles, etc. But what I found out is that I could actually get a brand new motor crate thing for what I could rebuild it for. So once I dig into the plastic here, you'll see that's basically, 30% of the whole machine. So we took that route, and while I was looking, I wanted to figure out the differences between the 650 that this came with and what a 700 would be. So this is a 2007 Arctic Cat 650 H1. That's a single cylinder. She's a big one longer. Had about, I don't remember, 2,000 or 3,000 miles on it ish when I got it. Had some good trips to Upper Michigan, and had some bottom end noise in it. Reluctantly, I will have to say that I did have to do some work on my Arctic Cat. So while we were digging into it, might as well make it better, especially if it's the same price. So I'll give you a peek inside the plastic here. This is a crate motor that you get from Arctic Cat. And this motor is actually a 700, originally an EFI model. On this side, so what we got here, this whole bottom case has got the engine and transmission together. So when I looked at needing some pieces for inside of the old motor, you redo the jug, get the bearings taken care of, rings, blah blah blah. It was a lot of money, so I started looking at my options, and I could get this whole unit here. I'm not going to quote the prices because they vary model to model, but all I'm saying is it's worth checking on, because now I have a brand new engine, transmission, it's your transfer case, it's everything for this machine. If you've got an Arctic Cat, I think some Suzukis and Kawasaki's are like this. To get this to work on this machine, because this is a 700 EFI motor, obviously I had to put a carb on it, and then on the other side I had to change the stator over because the stator was set up for the EFI system. Aside from that, put this carb on it with a Dynajet kit. I bought the Dynajet kit so I could do any fine tuning needed. Really didn't have to. The motors aren't that far apart in size. The old one was a single cylinder as well, so it's 50cc different. There's a lot of different carburetor configurations that you can run that you could bounce from motor to motor. You still want to check your plugs and make sure everything works, but this one was all right. So this side here, as we pulled off to get to the stator, the recoil wasn't on it. I added this later, so it just had a plastic case, but we cracked the case open here, pop that guy off. Behind there we got the flywheel and stator. So the stator is from the old motor from the 2007. I have to pull the part number to remember exactly what year this motor is for. This machine's an 07. I want to say it's like for a 2012 to 700 H1. There's the Mud Pros and there's all the different kinds, but so I had to change that out. And then the other thing that I ran into, bounce back the other side, is the ducting. The ducting on the front is a-okay. Ducting on the back came out in a different spot on my 650 versus a 700. So what I did here is I went back to the parts catalogs and I figured out what model it was most like. And there were two things I could choose. I could either go up here, and this exhaust is the same as a 500 unit, or I could come up and there's another exit option like the 700 had if I wanted to buy the 700 ducting that would come up and kind of snorkel up underneath the seat. Both I think within a couple inches of height, but I thought the fender was a little bit higher, and I had a reference point on a 500cc machine that we have here as well. So I liked having the reference, and I knew where that height was going to come out. I thought it was a really good option. I wasn't necessarily looking for the big bore to begin with, but if I'm going to have to put the money into the motor and I can get 50 cc's for free and a new transmission and new clutches, etc., etc., I've been really happy with it. And you know, it's kind of nice to have a little bit extra giddy up. These aren't speed machines. You know, they do your typical 55, I don't know, 60, but just, you know, lugging trailer, hauling wood and stuff around, a little bit extra power never hurt. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that quick review of the machine. If you've got a 650 or even a 500 for that matter that needs some work, hope that gives you a little different option. And in case you're wondering, you know, what if you get one of these newfangled cameras and just strap it to your machine, what kind of videos you get? It's the first time I opened the box a couple days ago, hoping to learn more on how to, you know, finesse some fancy stuff out of it. Probably getting a bunch of wind noise right now, apologize for that. But anywho, hope you enjoyed. Appreciate you watching. Adios.